Today we are going to talk about the different parts of plants and flowers. So let's dig right in. There are so many different parts of plants that do so many different things. We are going to talk about the 5 most basic parts of plants: the leaves, stem, flowers, fruit, and roots. The leaves are where the magic happens. This is where the majority of photosynthesis takes place, and it's where the plant makes energy to survive. You will learn more about photosynthesis tomorrow with Stephanie. The stem acts as a chute to transport water and minerals to various parts of the plant, and this is what helps the plant stand up straight. The plant seeds that we use to grow new plants can be found in the fruit. Fruit takes many different shapes, depending on the plant it grows on. When you think of fruit, you probably think of the edible fruit that some plants produce, like apples, tomatoes, and peaches. But did you know that not all fruit that plants grow are edible? The basic function of a plant's roots is to take water and minerals from the soil to be used as food for the plant. Flowers have lots of jobs. The main function of flowers is to be pollinated so fruit can grow and other plants can be grown from their seeds. Today we are going to dig a little bit deeper into the different parts of flowers and how they function by making homemade flower arrangements. In order to make our own flowers, we have to understand the different parts of flowers. Just like plants, there are 5 basic parts that we will cover today. These include the petal, stem, stamen, pistil, and sepal. The sepals are the green petal-like parts at the base of the flower. They help protect the developing flower before it blooms. The stem of the flower serves the same purpose as mentioned before. They transport water and minerals to the flower. The petals are what make flowers pretty. They attract pollinators such as bees, and they are usually the main reason why we buy and enjoy flowers. The pistil is the female part of the flower's reproductive system. The pistil has 3 main parts: the stigma, style, and ovary. The stamen is the male part of the flower's reproductive system. The stamen has 2 parts, the anther and the filament. Flowers play a great role in the reproduction of plants. Just like people and animals, plants go through a life cycle. It just looks very different for them. The first step of a flowering plant's reproductive cycle is pollination. Pollen is produced on the anther of a flower and travels to the stigma. If pollen moves from the anther to the stigma on the same plant, it is called self-pollination. If pollen moves from the anther by a pollinator like a bee or a bat to the stigma on another plant, it's called cross-pollination. Once the pollen lands on the stigma, it will move through the style and into the ovary. After the pollen reaches the ovary, the flower will develop into a fruit or pod to protect the seed. Depending on the plant, a time will come when the seed will be dispersed from the plant and go off to grow new ones. Now that we have a better understanding of the different parts of the flower, let's make our own. You're going to need assorted paper, scissors, tape or glue, something to act as your stem. I'm using pipe cleaners and decorating supplies, as you can see. For this activity, there's going to be lots of room to be creative and put your own personal touch on your flowers. If you want an extra challenge, you can search for materials around your house that can be used instead of regular copy paper or craft paper. This could be, but is not limited to, wrapping paper, tissue paper, old newspapers, or old magazines, whatever you think you can find lying around. We're using tissue paper and magazines. Let's get started. We're going to begin with a square piece of paper. If you don't have a square piece of paper, I'm going to show you how to make one. So we're going to take this top corner and fold it down until it meets the other edge of the paper. So we should have a shape just like this. And you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut along this straight edge that we made. And we will just discard any extra paper that we have after this because we will not need it. If you want to save it, you can use it to make mini flowers later. Okay, so now we have our triangle. And so if you're starting with your square, you're going to fold it once, and then we're going to fold it one more time and make an even smaller triangle. And then we're going to fold it a final time so that we have a triangle about this size, depending on which kind of paper you're using. And so now you're going to take your paper and you're going to position it like this. If you're confused on if you folded your paper enough, you can count these little flaps right here, and you should have 8 flaps of paper. So now we're going to position our paper just like this, where the longest side is positioned vertically and the solid corner that corresponds to the paper center is at the bottom, just like this. Now you're going to bring the short side, which is this one, toward the paper's longer side. Alright, and so now that we have this shape, we're going to cut across the horizontal line right here and get rid of this excess paper. Okay, and now that we have this shape, this is where you can start being creative. You're going to make the petals of your flower. Remember that the petals of the flower are what attract pollinators. So we want to make our flowers as pretty as possible to make sure we get lots of pollinators like birds to come to our flower. Use scissors to cut an arc shape starting at the top of the triangle's vertical side and ending close to the bottom of the opposite side. Alright, and now we're going to unfold it to see our 8-petaled flower. This is what I made, so now you're going to use your supplies to decorate your flower however you want. I'm going to decorate mine and I'm going to make a couple more and then we'll meet back here. Alright, so now that you have decorated your flowers, we're going to put the stem on them. So you can get either glue or tape, whatever you have around your house, and you're going to find something to represent the stem of your flower. So I have popsicle sticks and pipe cleaners, and I'm going to use a pipe cleaner. So I'm going to take it, and so this is the front of my flower, so I want to tape it to the back. So I'm going to place my pipe cleaner down and use the tape to fasten it on there. Really good. Just like that, and that's our finished product. All right, and we wanted to challenge you guys to make as many as you can and make a little flower arrangement out of them and give them to a family member that you know. This might be a grandparent, a brother and sister, maybe your mom and dad. To learn more about flowers and gardening, go to 4h.okstate.edu.